Thank you. We're glad to see that
Gracias.
you're healthy and
Estamos
safe
alegres de
from
ver
this virus.
aquí en la situación de este virus.
Sí,
So,
la verdad es que hoy se siente eh, quizás la distancia, pero la cercanía cuando estamos comunicándonos con todas las personas por medio por medio de internet y por medio de todas las redes sociales.
Ajá, cabal. She said it's been an interesting journey with all this virus going on, even though we have been told to set apart from one another. But it's been interesting to reconnect with so many others and feel even closer to the ones in the distance.
yes, okay. Well, it's great to be online with you here, and we've got folks watching on, like I said, on Facebook and on YouTube. So Al says hi, Janet
Hay
says
gente
hi,
viendo en
Susan says hi.
Facebook,
So we just want to let you guys know we're thinking about you.
queremos que sepa que estamos pensando en ustedes.
Thank you.
And so we want to find out kind of how life has been for you there in El Salvador. What are some things that you have to do because of this virus?
Y que más o menos me ha tocado hacer con la situación de este virus. Well, it's been an interesting journey, as my mom was sharing with you guys, and especially for El Salvador. On June of last year, we had a new president taking the lead, so he's the one now in charge of giving all the guidelines of what to do in this on this situation. Since he knows we are a very small country, he was very concerned, according to the numbers of Europe and China, that if we wouldn't be very strict on the regulation, like the whole El Salvador could be gone compared to numbers of other countries. So since beginning of March, he decided to start a very strict shutdown and lockdown on the places. He started around the beginning of March, closing down schools and sending people over 60 years old and with some heart like illness. He decided to send all of those people right away home. For us, within the school year, since our school year is from January to October, we had just been 2 months within our school year. So everybody was like just starting courses and classes. It was almost like the new year in school around that time in March. But everybody was sent home. There was no choice, no option. So everybody had all schools and universities were the first one to be sent home. And they said that the schools had to find a way to do homework. At the beginning, they were thinking about doing that they were gonna send you stuff or that you could come pick up stuff, but that as they understood that they didn't want people coming in and out, then government said they had to be online. So everybody was sent home from the schools. And then like 5 days later, he decided to do a lockdown within the whole country, so that nobody will go out. So that has been for over a month now, and compared to other countries, we were put into a lockdown very soon. Um, so that has given us an interesting situation with all the people. Like it's really like the roads and stuff is empty, and he's been very strict. So he has the police and the army. He has it outside so that you don't go out. So that's as far as we are right now. At first, we thought it was gonna be a few days, but now we know it's gonna be a little bit longer. But that has given us an opportunity to come into prayer and be praying a lot, and through WhatsApp or texting, sending our encouragement to people, and trying to give them the best advice possible in to be taking care of the families.
Okay. So you were saying that the school had to close down pretty quickly, and I'm sure that having like computer access and things like that is difficult there. How does that work?
Yeah, it's been interesting because they said let's do online, because the idea was that the teachers were gonna prepare the books and the notebooks, and parents would come to the schools to pick them up. But then they said, no, we cannot do that because that would be like doing nothing. So they move it into online. But that has been a challenge for a lot of people because they don't have internet access like everybody else does. So there's been people like trying to attend to like computer places, or like we call them here like this cyber coffee places, that it's that you go there, you pay like an amount of money to get computer access, but even those have been closed down. So
So,
people are now
oh,
sending
great.
homeworks and assignments basically through WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
So people has been doing assignments and doing it through WhatsApp. And for example, here at the house, we have two kids that go to school, and they're getting their assignments through WhatsApp, and then they have to take a picture that they did it, and then they send it to the teacher. Then the ones that we have at home that are in college, the ones here are very blessed because they have internet access here at home. The three of my family that are going to college, but other people have been having very difficult. They have been making a lot of phone calls saying, how do you want my assignment to be turned in if I don't have internet access? So that has really been a challenge. There's been even on the news people that has been climbing on trees trying to get signal to be able to get the files done and get the assignments.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. So they're climbing up into trees trying to get a better signal so they can get their.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that your mom is also working at the orphanage. How does this, or how has this affected her
Esto a
and
ti en
work
el
that's happening with the orphans?
en Éxodo, ¿cómo te ha afectado a ti?
Bueno, en realidad esta situación, desde que comenzó, eh, el Señor puso en mi corazón el versículo de Segundo de Crónicas 7:14.
When this situation was about to start, God put it into my heart, the verse in Second Chronicles
7:14.
7:14.
En donde dice, ¿verdad? Que si se humillare mi pueblo,
That if my people will humble
y sobre el cual se invoca mi nombre,
and they would call out my name,
y buscar en mi rostro,
they will seek out for my wisdom,
entonces, y se humillaren y se arrepintieran,
and they would turn out from their sin,
entonces yo escucharé
then I will listen
y sanaré su
and
tierra.
I will heal their land.
Y cuando empiezo a pensar todo lo que ha acontecido a nivel mundial,
And when I think about what has been going on around the world and here in El Salvador,
realmente una de las cosas por las que hemos clamado es que de verdad la gente de corazón duro pueda llegar a los pies del Señor.
and it has been our prayer for the ones that have been hard on their hearts, for God to be able to stop them up and for them to be able to get to know Jesus.
Fue difícil para mí cuando yo llegué a trabajar hasta el 16 de marzo.
I went to work until March 16,
Porque el decreto dijo que las personas de 60 años ya no podían estar en los trabajos.
because when the president first gave instructions, he said people over 60 years old and with chronic sickness, they had to stay at home.
y trabajar desde casa.
and work from home.
He tenido que aprender más de computación
So for me personally, it's been a challenge to learn all this technology
para poder hacer todo lo que me ha tocado hacer.
to be able to work and do all I have to do to be able to work from home.
Pero en realidad no ha sido fácil por estar pensando en los 30 niños que están ahí.
But it's been a challenge because it's hard because it's kind of a drive to be able to get there. So yeah, I've been very concerned about all those 30 kids being over there.
Porque una semana después que yo salí, salió todo el personal administrativo.
Because after me and another lady that were the first one to be sent home, 1 week later, then the president sent everybody home.
Entonces solo han quedado 4 personas cuidando a los niños.
So right now the houses are only with the substitute parents in each house. There's only four parents with them at the orphanage right now.
Un vigilante y una cuadrilla de soldados que siempre tenemos.
And then the one security guard, and then the couple of soldiers that are always walking around the area.
Entonces para las cuidadoras ha sido bien cansado, bien cargado.
So for what we call the tias, the aunts, that are the ones substituting there, it's been a very hard challenge all these days. It's almost been a month and a week now for just them to be with all the kids over there at the orphanage. It's really been a challenge for the 4 of them.
Y entendemos su deseo de estar con sus familias también.
And we also understand their desire and how they also want to be with their own families.
Y ahora que ya se está pensando en que no deben de salir para nada, se ha vuelto complicada la situación.
And now that the president is making even more strict the regulations around the areas, they're really very concerned that they really have to stay there and they cannot go and visit their families.
Entonces, pues algunas hasta dicen, entonces si yo no puedo ir a ver a mi familia, entonces me voy.
So some of them are, as they hear the news from the president, it's like, if this is gonna be even longer, then maybe I just wanna quit and go see my family.
Pero estamos orando y clamando al Señor que puedan ellas continuar y estar buscando las mejores opciones por el bienestar de los niños.
But we're praying that the Lord will help them and strengthen them and give them wisdom so they can be able to stay and be able to keep taking care of the kids.
Porque no es fácil hacer intervenciones con los niños vía teléfono, en línea, es bien complicado.
Because for us to be able to do interventions like through FaceTime, the FaceTiming, it gets very difficult for us to be working through a video call and get to work with the kids.
Pero ahí estamos confiando en el Señor.
But we're trusting the Lord that He will be taking care of us overall.
Okay. So, how many cases have you guys had there, and what's it like dealing with the hospitals and the doctors?
So far,
147 había en la,
we had around 167 confirmed cases. And which has been of it used to be that the numbers were only from the people that came from another country, that they were out of on vacation or something, that they got the virus. But now it's spreading mainly in San Salvador. So it's been approximately to 200 people that has been confirmed, but it's spreading very fast because at the hospitals the doctors don't have the right equipment, so they just have the simple mask and the gloves, and they're dealing with all this stuff. So for example, we even had few good doctors, but all those doctors had to be put into quarantine because they were close to one of the persons that the first ones that have died, and they didn't have the right equipment back then, so they have been sent away to also being able to watch over and take care of them, because they have very, very simple equipment.
Right. And so, how much longer are you guys expected to be on this quarantine?
¿Cuánto más esperan estar en esta cuarentena?
La verdad es que la expectativa para muchos en el país es que mínimo todo mayo y probablemente junio.
Expectations of the people are that we are gonna probably be like this all May and all June.
Y aunque en el caso de los niños, de los estudiantes,
And what has been saying that for the students,
se está especulando que el año escolar va a terminar así en línea.
so they say even though the lockdown might be taken on June, people are saying that the rumor is the students will continue to finish all the way through October, as the same way that they are right now doing online courses.
Okay, so they'll just be at home doing school, and then you guys are going to be like this until June. So what is it like for you to go shopping or to go pick up the things that you need? How do you have to do that?
Y entonces, ¿cómo van a estar así? ¿Cómo ha sido la actividad de las compras y todo eso?
¿De las compras de dónde?
De súper y todo eso.
¿De en general?
Ajá.
Sí, la verdad es que, digamos, cada familia tuvo que decidir por una persona para salir a comprar los alimentos o medicamentos en el caso de ser necesarios.
And the instructions given were that every home had to assign one person. So they had everybody who had to submit the person responsible in the house for doing the shopping, and only that person with the special letter would be allowed to be on the streets.
Por
Okay.
ejemplo, también al ir a los supermercados, no dejan entrar a todas las personas de una sola vez, se hace línea, hay que esperar el turno y solamente dejan entrar de 5 personas en 5 personas, lo que tú haces.
So and in the grocery places, you have to make a line separated by 1.5 meters, and then they only let 5 people at a time go in. So then outside you see a long line of the grocery places, because people are 1.5 meters away from each other, and then they just let 5 people go in. They have to shop and then go out, and then they let other 5 people go in. And that person is the one with the letter that has been assigned from each home.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the groceries that we would do, like in the mercado, like the marketplace, sadly, those places have been closed down. So like people that get, the fresh stuff from the mercado, they cannot be selling it. So kind of mainly they have only let open the like grocery companies and the pharmacies.
Aún los mercados, ya no sé si le dije, pero los mercados están, mercados o empresas están haciendo como paquetes para ofrecer a las personas y llevarlos a domicilio. Llevar un paquete de verduras que tiene un costo de $20 y ahí viene variedad de verdura y fruta. Entonces ellos se han organizado de tal manera que podamos obtener alimentos de esa manera también.
Some people back then, when they created the lockdown, some people from this, like the mercados, like the people that bring their own crops and stuff to the centro, when they said the lockdown was gonna be real the next day, then they started like giving their fruits and vegetables away because they knew they were gonna like go wrong because they had to be closed. So then people were putting together just like mainly baskets of what they have, even though they said they were gonna lose the money, but they rather just lose the money and give the stuff away. And some other places with different things have just been preparing the package of stuff and passing it around to people.
Okay.
O sea, son formas o son cosas que nunca habíamos experimentado, ¿verdad? Porque todo el mundo, pues obviamente, salir a comprar, seleccionar, escoger, ahora eso no se puede. Uno pide el paquete y pues lo que le llegó es lo que pidió, le llegó, pero a lo mejor no en las condiciones que 100% esperas.
So it's been also an interesting change because it used to be that, you know, the whole family will go to do to the super selectos, and now only one goes. And other stuff that now you order online, then you have to order, and then you gotta clean everything as it comes. And then sometimes it comes what you order, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes it's not very reliable, huh? Well, I've got folks here, and I'm trying to look at my phone. So I want to say hi to Brittany, Paul, to my mom, to Denise, to folks who are watching. And I want to let them know if you've got a question that you want to ask, you can type it in here, and I will relay it to them. They can't see the question here on Facebook, but hey, Dwayne, good to see you. Seda, Katrina, Jenna, Roxana.
Busca el número exacto de casos que tenemos ahorita y muertes.
But anyway, I want to ask these guys, what's been the hardest part for you so far? I know, Jorge, you're going to work every day, I'm guessing, but what's been the hardest part for you?
¿Qué ha sido lo más difícil para nosotros en este tiempo?
¿Qué ha sido lo más difícil? Bueno, es como algunas cosas se vuelven difíciles porque no tenemos como el hecho de decidir, por ejemplo, en algunas cosas. Pero por otro lado, el hecho de estar en casa, en familia, eso ha fortalecido mucho las relaciones, no solo para nosotros, ¿verdad? Sino en general.
Well, it's been like pros and cons, you know. One, because sometimes we feel like we've lost the control on the things that we were doing and stuff that we were so used to be doing, and that we would be able to decide whenever we wanted to go in and out. That has been taken out, so that's been a really hard challenge and interesting. And especially with all of us in the house and all the activities that we used to do. But also in the other end, it has been interesting for us as a family to be able to stay together and to strengthen our relationships as a family, to be able to share all this time with each other, as everybody but Jorge is all the time at home, because he leaves, but like in the weekends or even like the last week, it was or kind of like or Semana Santa or Holy Week break. So that week that it was like 10 or 12 days, those 12 days, yeah, we were all here at home. So it was very interesting and a good challenge also to be sharing time with one another.
También quizás una de las cosas como bien difíciles es el hecho de que todos estábamos acostumbrados a una rutina, salir, regresar, ¿verdad? Hacer tantas cosas, y ahora el cambio a tener que hacer todo eso de manera diferente, buscar las opciones, buscar las formas, ¿verdad? Pero es como se vuelve difícil. Yo llevo 35 días sin salir de casa, ¿verdad? Entonces esas cosas se vuelven como, o sea, nunca estuve aquí tanto tiempo, por ejemplo, ¿verdad?
Yeah, it's really been an interesting time of our lives. My mom and Rene were the ones that were first to stay at home full time. So my mom says I had never been in the house. Right now she has 35 days that she has been on the house without leaving anywhere, not even outside of the door. So she said even if she said even I grew up kind of like even my mom said even I was kind of almost born in this home at this house, but I was never that amount of time all like continue to be inside the home and not be able to leave. And then also Rene, they're the two ones that have the most of the time that have been in the house. Obviously with Grandpa to be in the house without leaving. So it's been an interesting challenge, and for her also to be the one. She was the one doing the groceries, going out and get all these things. And since I was the one to go to work, I was the one assigned to do the groceries. So then she sees the groceries, is like, I didn't tell you to buy this, Jorge. And it's like, yeah, we needed this, but not this kind of for this price. Well, like even yesterday we wanted an ice cream, and it's like another time we'll just go out, grab it, and bring it. And then, but everybody's doing delivery but the ice cream places. So yeah, I like to on that routine, especially that you guys know my mom, that she's an active person. She said it's been interesting, that she would come and go as fast as she wanted, but now she has with all of us been in here.
Yeah, so the amount of time that you've been spending at home and Grandpa's there. How old is Grandpa?
¿Cuántos años tiene el abuelo?
92.
92.
93.
He's 90.
Turn 90. He's gonna be 93 in September.
So how is this affecting him?
Y el abuelo, ¿cómo le ha ido?
Bien difícil porque, por ejemplo, él su rutina de salir a caminar todos los días de 5:30 a 6:30, para él fue difícil. Los primeros días se resistió, él decía, si no pasa nada, ya me voy, ya voy a regresar, pero realmente en la medida que fue comprendiendo tuvo que desistir de salir.
Well, Grandpa is not a person that goes out like a lot to do like errands or shopping. But since he retired, he has been going out to a park close by to walk for an hour every morning. So even though he like monthly, he goes out for like Price Mart and haircuts. That's all he goes out, like to a place.
Right.
But every morning from 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. he would go out to walk for an hour in this park. Since he retired until now, it's been like 30 something years that he's been walking for an hour as exercise every morning. So that has been the hardest for him. The first days, even though my mom was at home and not going to work, he was still going out to walk that hour to do his exercise. And my mom would suggest, and I would suggest, for not to go out. But then he said, no, it's not that bad. I'll be right back. It's just an hour. I'm just gonna go walk. But after a little while, he saw like how the situation was going, and then he decided to stay home. And even yesterday, he was saying, "Man, how longer is it's gonna be this?" Because he really misses his exercise, on his body and his legs. That's been the hardest for him.
Right. What kind of things are the churches doing?
¿Qué tipo de cosas están haciendo la iglesia?
Con la iglesia.
Las iglesias.
Okay.
Well, for El Salvador, honestly, it was an interesting pushing time because it has really, you know how like the country is, in our culture and tradition. So we are very physical contact, thing. So like the churches gather a lot and have this sharing time with one another. But this, because I think the order was given probably Saturday around 10 p.m. and they said next day everybody at home, and the next day was Sunday. So it's been interesting because it really pushed the Church of El Salvador as a whole to switch into online, with most of the churches have never ever done that, you know. So it has really been an interesting switch and an upgrade for the Church of El Salvador, and maybe that will be a good thing, you know, because if this probably wouldn't happen, the Church of El Salvador had never been forces or made their mind to do that, because I've heard in different churches, you know, how youth has been advised to, you know, we should try the online option, but in El Salvador, you know, our pastor was like, no, it's fine. But now they have been forced to do it. So that next Sunday, some churches didn't meet because they couldn't, and some others where did, like, you know, just the pastor made a live and he preached and that was it. Now they're coming as they have the week to prepare. They have been able to kind of put the service together. So like a person with the guitar records the video at home and he sings the 3 songs and then he sends it to somebody. Then a person does a prayer. They record the video and they send it to somebody. And then another person does the sermon. They record the video and they send it to this like link person, and then he edits the whole thing and they put it together, and then they put it on their social media on Sunday. So now it's been more detailed and work it out, but it has given a very forced jump, which I think it's been really good, because even churches from like out of the countries and stuff have been able to do this.
Una de las cosas que a mí me ha impactado con la iglesia es el hecho de que pues, siempre hemos aprendido que la iglesia no es el templo, ¿verdad? Sino somos las personas. Entonces el hecho de no estar en la congregación es como que hay algo que se siente que falta.
But also this, you know, has been given the church a new meaning, because for so many years we were so focused on that the church was like the building, you know. So for El Salvador, it has given the church an opportunity to realize that as a families, we are a church, and we can be together and be the church as a family, even though we're like separated houses and not all of us in one place.
Y por ejemplo, la Santa Cena, para mí siempre, como más tradicional quizás, la Santa Cena es un evento tan como solemne, ¿verdad?
And for me to be the oldest one to be on the church, you know, the time of communion or the Holy Supper has been a very like holy and traditional time. So for us on Easter, that we had our first Holy Supper or communion to be done everyone on their houses, it really clicked of something different in my mind, but it gave me that experience because every person had to do their own bread and get the drink at home. So it gave all of us a different experience to come again and to think what we were doing and the meaning of it.
Yeah, it really has forced the church to move into the 21st century and do things that they were not used to doing. I have a question here from Noah Tucker. You remember him? He's wondering how everybody's responding to the lockdown. You know, there's been a lot of folks here in the U.S. that are not happy that we're on lockdown, and so some still go out and do what they want to do. So he's wondering, are they doing the same kind of things there, or is everybody kind of falling in line and just doing what they have been told to do?
Well, we have a little bit of the two sides of the story. We have people that are really aware of what's happening and they have been very respectful. But in the other hand, there we have some people that they think it's not true what's happening. They still been going out. But that's been one of the problems for us, that a lot of people thought this was a joke or something and it was not real. So people were still going out. So we have around 5 places that have more than 300 people. That is people that the army caught because they were outside of their houses. And if you were outside of your house and you were not supposed to be out because of working, or you were not doing groceries, the army will get you and bring you into a lockdown place. So we have so far we have like 5 places that have more than 300 people, that if you were out and you had not like the letter or something of support work, they got you and they will bring you to that place. So now people are like, well, I'm not getting I'm not getting food here. I'm not getting my good, good taking. I'm not being very good taken care of. But it's because they left their houses when they were not supposed to. So the armies took them to these places. That's in one hand. And then sadly, in the other hand, what has increased a lot is the reports on domestic violence. A lot of people have obeyed like the lockdown because they know they are afraid of the virus, but that has caused a lot of domestic violence reports to be increased on women and also on children that have been abuse of violence. That the mothers that have been hidden by their husbands, or kids that have been hidden by their parents. So on the other hand, sadly, we have those reports increasing, even though like the gain problem issues have been numbered down, even sometimes all the way down to zero. But the domestic violence has increased a lot, and that could be one of the a really good prayer request that we could share with you, that you could be praying for, even members of churches and stuff like that, that mothers that would come to church with their kids, and but because of the lockdown, they're locked down with the father that is very violent to them. So it will be a really good prayer request that you will pray for every family in their houses that they have suffered domestic violence, for God to reach out to them, and that some way they could find a way out.
Right. Yeah, I think it's true here in the U.S. as well, that abuse cases and domestic violence cases have gone up. And some of those things aren't reported even, because with a lot of the reports for child abuse, it happens through the schools. And because children are not in school right now, a lot of those things are not being reported. So
Son como los lados opuestos de la situación.
It's interesting to see those ends of the story in this time.
Y realmente es triste porque sabemos que sí, muchos niños se refugian en la escuela.
And it's very sad because also here we know a lot of kids, they would find a safe place at their schools, and now they're being forced to be at their homes.
Right.
Y lo mismo es, por ejemplo, en el aprendizaje, porque, o sea, no todos los papás están en las condiciones de ayudarles a sus hijos con las clases, con las tareas. Entonces, este año va a ser un año como aquí se dice, ¿verdad? Este año va a ser como, lo van a pasar y ya, pues, aprendido o no, ¿verdad? Pero así va a fluir, porque sabemos que muchos no lo hacen, ¿verdad? El apoyar a los hijos en esa área de educación.
And also for some of the, a lot of the parents are not happy to have to do this online school with their kids. So that also has created a lot of problems within parents and kids not following the stuff. And for us, the interesting thing is that since the lockdowns started like right at the beginning of our school year, and it seems we're gonna do the whole school year like this. A lot of parents are like not agreeing with it, and there's like they're done doing homeworks. So a lot of people are saying within the school system and the school year, they see that it might be a lost year within education because some parents don't even know how to help their kids.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, if you felt like it was going to be a lost year or not. And of course, that's a whole other problem and issue that you have to deal with. Some people here online are wondering, what's the recovery rate there? Have y'all had a lot of people recover from the virus? I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Yeah, what's the recovery rate? Have you had a lot of people recover from the virus?
Right now, the overall information is we have 218 cases. 7 of them have died, and we have 23 that have recovered.
Okay. And so to kind of wrap things up, we've got a few more minutes here, but I want to ask you guys, what are some things that maybe you've been learning? What is something that God has revealed to you about himself, or what's something that you feel like you've been learning through this process?
¿Qué han aprendido de
En el lavadero, ¿qué hemos aprendido? Bueno, realmente una de las cosas que creo hemos ido aprendiendo es el hecho de verdad, de no olvidarnos que Dios es el único que tiene el control absoluto de todo. Reconocer que tiene el control.
For it's been a personal challenge, she says, to come back to the point that we can only trust in the Lord and no one else.
Yeah.
Because in this situation, as Jorge has to go out and as all of us are in here, we still, fearing a little bit. But we really me personally, my mom, I've come to the point to rely on the Lord on full and trusting that he's the one that's taking the lead.
Y una de las cosas es el hecho de que aquí, algo que a mí me ha impactado en este proceso es que aquí no hay pobres, no hay ricos, no hay blancos, no hay morenos, ¿verdad? No hay diferencias sociales, no. O sea, aquí todos estamos en la misma condición y definitivamente está demostrado una vez más que Dios es el que está presente y el que está guiando al mundo entero.
And El Salvador is a very extreme range society class. We have poor and we have the wealthy ones. It's been a huge gap within between. But it's been interesting to see that both ends are really coming to the point to trust the Lord. Because it's not I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm white, I'm black, whatever. It's everybody has to at the end come to the point of rely onto the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, it's been a really interesting experience. 2 reasons. One, because been directly working at Congress. Even the last general session, I was really, really upset with the Lord because the 2 major political parties had already come into an agreement to take up the lockdown, and it was on the news for 3 days that they already had that agreement, and I already knew they had that agreement, and they were going to open some malls, restaurants, and some business, and they had come into that agreement because they are the ones that own these places. So we were at Congress for almost like 22 hours on session. We started on Thursday, and we ended up on the session on Friday morning. And it was uh, it was impressive and a shock for me because it happened like in 3 minutes. Everybody knew that they had this agreement. They did the session. They voted in the committee, and they say yes, we have the session. Just from one end of the place to the other end, as they were walking to present this agreement that the committee had, even the president said, we don't agree with this, but these two major parties have come to an agreement, and he gave that press conference. And as they walked into the main room of the Congress, one doctor said, we're not going to vote no more. And I couldn't believe it. And I said, what? And I came to my boss and I said, this doctor just walked to the president and said they're not going to vote anymore. What's going on? Because it had been on the news for so long. And at the end, people started like breaking into small groups, and it was like, oh yeah, they're telling they're not going to vote. So for me, it was interesting to see how these big people that said that and they had agreement. I was like, Lord, if they open up, we're all going to get the virus. And after midnight, and they voted, and it wouldn't get the votes, they had all to come to the agreement that they needed to extend the lockdown as it was. And even one of the Congress ladies, she said, I woke up this morning very sad knowing what was going to happen. And the only thing I said to the people around me is we had to pray. And I do believe a lot of people of El Salvador have been praying, because what happened here is indescribable, because this agreement was broke, and at the end we gave the people what they truly needed. And in my case, being now on the health department of the Congress, and hearing all the advices, I knew was going to affect them. So it really shocked me into really trusting that the Lord still has control, even though when other politicians or people think that they can have it to take care of the people, got still in that way.
Wow, that's cool. So to kind of wrap things up with you guys, what can we be praying for you as a family or for your ministry? How can we partner with you in that way?
¿Cómo podemos orar por ustedes?
Bueno, pienso que una de las cosas es por el hecho de saber que estamos aquí con un propósito ahorita, y que Dios nos dé la paz y la tranquilidad de saber esperar en el Señor.
I think the first prayer request is that may God give us the time and the brokenhearted to be able to really rely on Him and trust in Him, as we have the patience on waiting on this time, and to trust in Him.
También por siempre tener una palabra de aliento y de ánimo para la gente de la comunidad de Suchitoto.
And also for you guys to pray that God will always give us the wisdom of what are the right and needed words that we need to have in order as we talk with anybody who calls us, or with the members and the people from the community.
La comunidad tomó una decisión con la directiva de cerrar la comunidad. Ellos están en la entrada de la comunidad y no dejan pasar a nadie que no sea de la comunidad.
The community decided, even before the situation happened, they decided to lock their own community. So they assigned shifts on people of the community to go into the main entrance, and no allowing anybody else either out or in.
Y ellos normaron que 2 veces a la semana pueden salir a hacer compras.
And they even told the people, they said only 2 days a week you can go out to do groceries and stuff. The other days everybody stays home.
Aquí en casa también, por ejemplo, por la provisión, ¿verdad? Porque ahorita en algunos trabajos, digamos en el caso de la fundación, por ejemplo, las donaciones no están siendo normales. Entonces, se está llegando al punto de tener que tomar decisiones de que los salarios tienen que ser, que probablemente los salarios tengan que retenerse.
And then in general, also to pray for God's provision to be given at every home within the community, and in all of the families and home, also like with us and all, or the families that are with Vision to Hear, with the community and the orphanage, because obviously right now a lot of companies are not providing the incomes to the families, and also a lot of donations that would come to the orphanage, they're not coming. So the director even said a few days ago that we need to be praying a lot, because we don't know if for the next month to come, that if they're gonna have the enough resources to cover the needs of the kids and the monthly payments of the employees.
Mm.
And that's the general case with a lot of people, that wherever they work at, wherever they were working, since the restaurants, movie theaters, and every place, since they had to shut down, people, some people have been fired, and some people are put it on hold. That you're not working, I'm not gonna pay you. It's like, I'm not firing you. Whenever we come back, I'll hire you again and I'll pay you. But this month, they don't know if they're gonna get paid. So, and overall for the economic situation of the country.
También por seguir siendo instrumentos del Señor en la expansión del Evangelio a través en línea siempre.
And obviously, we would love your prayers for us, to give us wisdom, to to being able to have the wisdom and the discernment to keep sharing the gospel with the ones that we get in contact.
Mm. Okay, well, we will definitely be praying about those things for you. Give us a quick update on how Miriam and Hugo are doing, and the ministry over there.
Un rápido informe de cómo está Miriam y Hugo. They're doing good overall. They're doing good. Hugo, because his sugar thing, he has to stay at home and not go out. So right now, mainly everything that has been done, Miriam has been doing it. And there's a friend of us from long ago that decided to collect with his friends groceries, and he's been bringing these groceries to Miriam, so she can help the ladies from the Samaritan house, because for obvious reasons they are not they get paid by the day. You come, you work, you get paid. So all these ladies were like really worried and concerned how they were going to make it and survive through these times, because they were not going to have the income. So thanks to this guy, every now and then they get those groceries, they pass the word around, the ladies come and they give them that grocery package, and it's been really good. But in general, even before this, keep Miriam in your prayers. She has something going on that gives pain in some of her like connections of the bones, and she's allergic to Tylenol. So it's very hard for her to find a medicine that she can have. The last weeks before the lockdown, some friends would come and give her some shots to strengthen her system. So please keep their health in your prayers. because the basic, meds doesn't work on her, and also to be able to sustain the sugar levels on Hugo.
Okay. Well, thanks for taking the time with us tonight. We just wanted to let you know that we love you guys and we are praying for you.
Thank you. We really love you guys. My mom was very excited to be able to connect with you guys today. I was running and rushing from work to make it on time because I know you guys are American. So I was flying my car to get home to being able to connect with all of you guys. But on behalf of my mom and me, we really love you guys. We miss your church, your special family members that love us so much. We miss them all. And my mom, she always makes comments about her time over there and how grateful she is for everything you guys have done for us while we are there with you, and still for us while we are here. We love you. We send a lot of greetings, and hopefully we'll get to see each other soon.
All right. Well, God bless you guys. And
God bless you too.
All right. We love you.
God bless you too. I love you.
Tell all of your family we said hello.
Thank you. Love you guys. So good to see you.
Bye-bye.
I love you. The church.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So we're
Y eso te queda grabado, ¿no?
No. Estuvo bueno.